Now, moms, I know that you've probably gotten your cards already, and if you haven't, you're probably going to get a card. And sometimes those cards can say some things that cause you to make you scratch your head a little bit. Let me read just a couple from some kids. This is what they said to their mom. Robert said, I got you a turtle for Mother's Day. I hope you like it better than the snake I got you last year. Eileen, she said, Dear Mother, I wish Mother's Day wasn't always on Sundays. It would be better if it were on Monday so we wouldn't have to go to school. Diane, she said, I hope you like the flowers I got you for Mother's Day. I picked them myself when Mr. Smith wasn't watching. And then Carol, she was really thinking about her mom. She says, Mom, here are 2 aspirins. Have a happy Mother's Day. And we definitely know that moms can have some things themselves to be able to say to us. So let me share with you a few mothers' quotes that they had. One mother says, silence is golden unless you have children. Then silence is suspicious. Now, this young mom who just had a child, this is what she said. She says, I don't want to sleep like a baby. I want to sleep like my husband. And another mom said this, sitting alone in the bathroom with the door locked and eating Nutella. How's your day going? Then another mom said, I started making breakfast for myself and ended up making everybody except myself breakfast. And then lastly, a mom said, I hate when I'm waiting for mom to cook dinner, and then I remember that I'm the mom and I got to cook dinner. So Mother's Day can certainly bring us some great laughter, and it can also bring us some heartache. But this morning, I want us to take a look at a mother. We're not giving her name. We don't even know what her name is. But she's an incredible example to us, all of us, not just moms, not just women, but to all of us of what it means to be persistent in our faith in going after God. And we can all learn incredible lessons from this mom. Jesus even paid her an amazing compliment because of her faith. Turn to Matthew chapter 15. Matthew chapter 15. We're going to begin in verse 21. It says, leaving that place, Jesus withdrew to the region of Tyre and Sidon. A Canaanite woman from that vicinity came to him, crying out, Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. My daughter is demon-possessed and suffering terribly. Jesus did not answer a word. So his disciples came to him and urged him, send her away, for she keeps crying out after us. He answered, I was only sent to the lost sheep of Israel. The woman came and knelt before him. Lord, help me, she said. He replied, it is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. Yes, it is, Lord, she said. Even the dogs eat the crumbs that fall from the master's table. Then Jesus said to her, woman, you have great faith. And your request is granted, and her daughter was healed at that very moment. This morning, the title of the sermon is simply this, a mother of great faith. A mother of great faith. Now we see in this particular story, Matthew records this, and also Mark records this. And we see in the story that Jesus is now leaving the territory of Israel proper. And he's going down into the region of the Canaanites. And now he has this woman who comes to him, and she begs him, Lord, Son of David, have mercy on me. And we see that Jesus ultimately says to her, woman, you have great faith. So why does Jesus give her this incredible compliment? Why is he saying that she has great faith? And what are some things that we can learn from this woman's faith about what it means to be persistent in following Jesus? I'm going to give you three things this morning, three very quick things. The first thing is this that amazed Jesus and said, the reason why he said that she's a woman of great faith is because she had a faith that desperately sought after Jesus. She had a faith that desperately sought after Jesus. Now, there are many, many people in the Bible that come to Jesus for personal healing. And some of them that you read about, they go through some pretty difficult things to get to Jesus. Then we have others in the Bible who come to Jesus because someone that they love is in need. They may be needing a healing. They may be needing something else. But that person who loves them, they come to Jesus. I'm reminded of the four friends who had another friend who was paralyzed. You can read this story in Matthew chapter 9, Mark chapter 2, and also in Luke chapter 5. But these men, these friends, they so desperately wanted to get their friend who was paralyzed to Jesus that they went up on somebody else's roof where Jesus was, dug a hole through their roof to lower that man down to get them to Jesus. You see, when there are people that you desperately love and you know they're going through some challenges, there are times where you'll do whatever it takes to get them to Jesus or to make sure there's a connection that Jesus has with them. You see, this woman, she was willing to do whatever it took as a mother to help her daughter and Jesus to connect. Her daughter had a great need. She was demon-possessed. Now, neither Matthew nor Mark describe what that situation for a demon-possessed child living at home was like. We don't know what that looked like. Now, we've seen others in the Bible who were demon-possessed, and we know what they look like. Remember the man in the tombs? They said no one could chain him. When they would bind him up, he would break the chains. It says night and day he was screaming and crying out, taking stones and cutting himself. We see another young boy who was possessed by a demon. And his father said he keeps wanting to throw him into the fire and kill him. Based on these stories, we can imagine what it must have looked like and what that family must have gone through in that household with this little girl being demon-possessed. How much heartache, how much chaos that they were probably experiencing day after day after day. You know, maybe right now as a mom, you're facing some major challenges. Maybe there's some things that you're going through with your own child or with your own children, and you're at your wit's end and you don't know exactly what to do. I want you to think about this particular mother here, how she was persistent in her faith in making sure that she was going to get Jesus and her daughter connected some kind of way. You see, you can follow her as an example. You see, this mother, she could have made the decision that she was going to stop, that I'm not going to do anything to help my daughter. She could have made that decision because of the obstacles that she had to face. And you think, well, what would be those obstacles? What obstacles will be in her way? Well, one that we may not even think of is the fact that she was a woman in this particular time. In this particular culture, women didn't typically just walk up to a man and have a casual conversation with him. That wasn't the norm. That wasn't culturally or socially acceptable. So for this mother now to go to the house where Jesus is staying to seek an audience with him, it probably raised some eyebrows. Some people were probably thinking, what is she doing? She knows she's not supposed to be going there. But as a woman, she knew, and as a mother, she knew that I have to get my daughter connected with Jesus. She was also a Canaanite, a Gentile. She was not a Jew. Jews and Gentiles, and Canaanites especially, they aren't supposed to associate with one another. And now this woman is seeking the attention and seeking the audience of a Jewish rabbi who's from a region where historically the people there, they were very hostile to those who were Canaanites. See, the Old Testament says that the Canaanites were the most morally despised of Israel's enemies. They didn't like each other. The Jews and the Canaanites didn't get along. And now this Canaanite woman is seeking an audience with Jesus. That obstacle could have stopped her. That obstacle could have prevented her because she's thinking, well, will he accept me? Will he even want to talk to me? I'm a Canaanite. He's a Jew. We aren't supposed to associate with one another. But she didn't allow that social and that cultural barrier, that obstacle that was facing her, to keep her from going after Jesus. You see, when we're desperate, we'll do anything that we can to get the help that we need. And that was the heart of this woman. Culture, what society has said was right and wrong, that wasn't going to be the thing that was going to be an obstacle for her. And I know in this day and age, our current culture is doing everything that it can to try to dictate what it means to be a woman and what it means to be a mother. What the Bible talks about a woman and a mother is all about, our culture is so much trying to change that and to make it so different. I implore you, women, I implore you, mothers, let the scriptures give you the meaning and understanding of what it means to be a woman and a mother. Don't let culture define that for you. Let the scriptures define that for you. I don't know what obstacles you may be facing today. I don't know what things are happening in your own households, but I do know that this mother is an amazing example of not allowing her obstacles to keep her from desperately seeking out Jesus. Her faith moved her to seek out Jesus, even through her obstacles. The second thing that we can learn from this mother, and the second reason I believe that Jesus said she was a woman of great faith, is that her faith would not allow her to give up. Her faith would not allow her to give up. You know, Mike and Mary alluded to some of the challenges that moms face day in and day out. Them just keeping their grandchildren just overnight. Woo! Brought back a lot of things for them that they hadn't done in a long time. But moms, that's day in and day out for you. That's what you experience. That's what you go through day after day after day. Your job as a mother is very daunting. I, as a man, I couldn't do it. That's why God created men, and he created women. That's why he has fathers, and you have mothers. Fathers can't handle the things that mothers can handle. Fathers don't deal with things the way mothers deal with them. Fathers will have a breakdown if they've got to keep their kids 24/7 by themselves and make everything work. We don't know how to do that. That's why we need moms. And I know, mothers, that you don't always get the appreciation and get the thanks that you deserve. I know at times it can be pretty discouraging because you've done all that you can do and no one thanks you. There was a mom one day, she was trying her best to get everything done. The kids weren't bathed yet. There was toys all over the living room. There was dishes that were unwashed. There was food everywhere. And her husband came home that afternoon from work, bebopping in the house, very happy, you know. And he looks around and sees all kind of chaos going on. And the mom is holding a little baby. She says, I know you asked me, what do I do all day? Well, today, I didn't do it. See, moms, they have a lot to do. And as husbands, sometimes we don't always understand that. And sometimes we don't really show them the appreciation that they need. So today, publicly, I, before everyone else, am going to say, and I'm going to apologize for all those who are not moms, to all the moms under the sound of my voice. We are sorry. We are sorry that we haven't appreciated you. We are sorry that we haven't thanked you the way that we need to thank you. We're sorry that we haven't taken the time to send you away to a massage, rub your feet, just to give you time off, to not have to worry about that. We are sorry. But please know that we desperately need you. So don't give up. Please don't give up. Keep doing the things that you're doing. You see, this mother, she had the faith not to give up. She begged Jesus, Lord, my child is suffering terribly with demon possession. I need your help. Jesus didn't even answer her. His disciples, they came to him, urging him, send this woman away. Send her away. She keeps crying out after us. Just send her away. Jesus said, I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel. The woman came. She knelt down before him. She says, Lord, help me. And then Jesus says this. First, let the children eat all they want. It is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to their dogs. We look at this story and we read through this, and at first glance, we're like, this interaction that she's having with Jesus seems a little strange. It's like, Jesus, why are you so hard on this lady? We're going to explain that in just a moment. Many times, many of us have had major challenges in our life. And we've cried out to God repeatedly, over and over again. God, why are you not answering me? Why are you so hard on me? Why am I going through all this stuff right now? Why is life so hard? And why do you seem so distant when I really need you? Why do you seem not to care right now when I really need you? We felt that. We've been there. We know what that feels like. See, that's what this woman was going through. And all the answers to those questions right there that we just asked, why? Why is this so hard? God, why are you hard on me? Well, it's probably for the same reason that this happened in this particular story. We can look at this and we can think that Jesus seemed rude. He seemed dismissive. But that's not the case. Jesus was not trying to be rude. He was not trying to insult this woman. He was not trying to dismiss her. He was not trying to push her away and cause her to quit and give up. He was testing her faith and testing her heart and stretching her faith. He wanted her to be a model to everybody of what persistence is really all about. Jesus knew what this woman was capable of. She knew where her faith could take her. Therefore, he pushed. Even when she was begging and pleading, he kept pushing, letting her know, you can do this. Keep being persistent. See, sometimes when we're going through challenges in life, when we're at our wits' end, it's not that God isn't listening. Maybe he's testing your heart. Maybe he's testing your faith and trying to stretch your faith to see, do you really, really trust me? Do you really, really believe in what I can do for you? See, remember what it says in James chapter 1? James chapter 1, verse 2. It says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. It's because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. You see, sometimes as we're going through these hardships or these challenges, it may be that God is just testing our hearts as he was testing the heart of this mother. It may be that God is stretching our faith, wanting to help us to understand how much we need to trust him and how much we can trust him. You see, God and Jesus doesn't want us to give up. They want our faith to grow. They want us to be stretched at times. Some of you know exactly what it feels like to pray day after day, month after month, year after year for your child. And you know what it feels like that when you don't feel like you're being heard, when you don't feel like God is there listening and he's not answering. You know what that feels like. What do you do? Again, Bible teaches us, be persistent. Don't give up. See, this mother had a faith that would not allow her to give up. Let's have that same faith. See, her faith, it also took her past the criticisms of the disciples. The disciples was just telling her, leave. Jesus, just tell her to go. Going back to where she came from. See, sometimes people won't treat us right because of our race. Sometimes people won't treat us right. They'll criticize us because of who we are and because of how we look. Don't let that be something that causes you to give up. Even during that time, that mother did not give up. She was persistent. See, her faith even took her past the answers that Jesus did give her. See, it's hard enough when you're talking to someone and they don't answer you, but then when you get the answer, you're expecting something that's going to be helpful to you. But the things that Jesus said to her, that was even harder. Okay, because I'm not a Jewish person, that means you won't talk to me? Because you need to take care of them first, that means I don't get anything? The answers that Jesus gave her wasn't very helpful for her either. It didn't give her that sense of encouragement. I only came for the lost sheep of Israel. It's not right to take the children's bread and toss it to the dogs. But still, this mother didn't give up. She still didn't give up. She was still persistent. Listen to this quote by a writer named Washington Irving. It says, the love of a mother is never exhausted. It never changes. It never tires. It endures through all, in good repute, in bad repute. In the face of the world's condemnation, a mother's love still lives on. Mothers, today, have the faith of this mother that we read about in this story that doesn't cause you to give up, where you'll keep going. The last quality of this mother that I believe that Jesus was impressed with, and that I believe this is the reason why he said she was a woman of great faith, is because she had the faith to humble herself. She had the faith to humble herself. See, this mother came to Jesus. She fell at his feet and begged Jesus to drive this demon out of her daughter. Lord, help me, she said. But you know the thing I think that impressed Jesus the most is when Jesus said, first, let the children eat all they want. It is not right to take the children's bread and toss it to their dogs. Her reply, I think, made Jesus see, wow, this is a woman of great faith. Her reply was, yes, Lord, she replied, but even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs. In essence, what she was saying to Jesus, I don't need the whole slice of bread. All I need is a crumb from you. If I just get a crumb from you, Jesus, that's all I need. That will suffice. I will be like a dog if I need to, just to get the crumbs from you. I'll put myself in whatever place I need to put myself. I'll humble myself and do whatever I need to do just to get a crumb from you, Jesus. Is that your mindset? When you know the power of God, when you understand the power of Jesus, I don't need the whole loaf. I don't even need a slice. All I need is a crumb from you, Jesus. And that'll do for me everything that it needs to do. She had the faith to humble herself. And that's why Jesus says, woman, you have great faith. Your request is granted. And her daughter was healed at that moment. What if she'd have given up? What if she had never decided to seek after Jesus? What if she'd allowed the obstacles to stop her? What if she had never humbled herself? You see, sometimes when people don't greet us the way we want them to greet us, sometimes when people walk by us and they don't speak to us and they seem to be unfriendly, we can begin to think in our own minds, oh, they got something against me. They don't like me. All right, I don't want to have to deal with them anymore. See, that was not this woman's attitude. Her attitude was just the opposite. No, I'm going to keep persisting through this obstacle. I'm going to keep persevering because I desperately need my daughter and Jesus to connect. See, when you are desperate and when you see that need that you have and when you see that need that your child has, you'll do whatever it takes to get to Jesus. She passed the test. She passed the test that Jesus gave her. And now we're looking at this story and her being a model for us about what it means to be persistent in your faith and being desperate to go after Jesus. See, her status didn't matter to her. How she was perceived by other people didn't matter to her. It didn't matter that she was ignored. It didn't matter that she was seemingly just pushed aside. Those things didn't matter. All that mattered was getting her child connected to Jesus. That's all that mattered. Let's follow this mother's faith. A mother who desperately sought after Jesus through major obstacles. A mother who was moved not to give up, even in the face of discouragement. A mother who humbled herself and cried out, Lord, help me. This is a woman, a mother of great faith. Let's learn from her and be people of great faith. Mothers, I encourage you and implore you to have the faith of this mother and be encouraged that God loves you and that God so much appreciates all the work that you do. I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. But I encourage you today to be a mother of great faith. We're going to close out our service with this video prayer. Please watch.